My sister, Chloe, has been acting strange lately. For a solid week, the light in her room burned well past midnight, accompanied by the frantic scratching of a pen and the occasional, suppressed, and frankly creepy giggle. As her dutiful older brother, I naturally assumed she was cramming for midterms. Worried she might be starving herself, one night I carried a steaming bowl of mac and cheese to her door, pushing it open quietly. "Chloe, honey, I made you some." Whoa. The words died in my throat, and the bowl nearly slipped from my hands. She wasn't studying. She was hunched over her desk, the lamp illuminating a strange flush on her cheeks and a feverish glint in her eyes, like someone who just uncovered a profound secret. Pinned under her hand was a thick, brightly colored notebook, her pen flying across the page as she muttered to herself. Ethan gently lifted Leo's chin, the warmth of his fingertips searing. His deep eyes were filled with an emotion too profound to decipher as he whispered, "Leo, don't run from me anymore." Leo, Ethan, those are my name and my best friend's name. Chloe. My roar nearly took the roof off. She jumped, the pen skittering away, and scrambled to close the notebook, but I was already there, snatching it and pulling her up by the arm. "Bro, let me explain. It's not." She tried to salvage the situation, her face pale. "Explain what?" I was fuming. "I thought you'd finally turned a new leaf, that you were actually studying. Turns out you're staying up all night writing." "This? Me and Ethan? What were you thinking?" I confiscated the offending notebook. A quick scan of the pages, filled with descriptions of lingering touches, smoldering glances, and charged atmospheres, was almost enough to make me pass out. Confiscated. Eat your food. Go to bed. I slammed the bowl on her desk, stormed out with her magnum opus, and slammed the door. Back in my room, my chest ached with indignation. Me and Ethan? It was an absurd joke. Our friendship was as platonic as it gets. We trash-talked on the basketball court, saved seats for each other in the library, and split meals in the dining hall. He copied my class notes and I grabbed him breakfast. Where in any of that was the sticky, cloying romance described in this notebook? Still, I had to see just how far her insane fantasies went. Driven by a morbid curiosity and a need to critique, I opened the notebook. October 12th. Sunny. During basketball practice today, my brother twisted his ankle. Ethan immediately rushed over to support him. The panic in his eyes was unreal, definitely not how a normal friend would react. He was so worried. He even knelt down to check his ankle, and my brother's ears turned completely red. "Ah, my ship is sailing. Childhood friends to lovers is the best trope." I suppose that did happen, but Ethan was just a considerate person. He's like that with everyone, right? October 15th. Rainy. Gee. It was pouring today, and Ethan and my brother shared an umbrella. Ethan tilted it almost completely over my brother, getting his own shoulder soaked. He kept sneaking glances at my brother's profile, his eyes so tender they could melt steel. He's so in love, and my clueless brother didn't even notice. So frustrating. I guess that was true too. But it was only because he's taller, so the umbrella naturally angled toward me. Sneaking glances? Impossible. Chloe's shipping goggles were just too thick. October 19th. Overcast. Yesterday, my brother casually mentioned wanting to try the maple bacon donuts from that bakery downtown. And today, Ethan brought them for him, saying he was in the area. What a lie. That place is a 30-minute drive across town. He even remembered my brother hates pickles and always picks them out of his burgers at the dining hall. This subtle care is everything. Ethan, you're just too deep in love. My hand holding the notebook started to tremble. How did Chloe know all these details? She even knew I hated pickles. Ethan did always pick them out for me. I'd always just assumed he was neat and couldn't stand seeing food left on a plate. The more I read, the more unsettled I became, a cold sweat breaking out on my back. The descriptions in this notebook were too real, frighteningly real. All the little moments I had taken for granted, ignored, were now magnified by her words, replaying in my mind. Ethan always made sure the water in my bottle was cool but not too cold. Ethan would quietly drape his jacket over me when I napped at my desk in the library. Ethan remembered every single one of my preferences and allergies. The way Ethan looked at me, maybe it was a little more focused, a little softer than how he looked at anyone else. Stop. Leo, what are you thinking? I snapped the book shut, my heart hammering against my ribs, my face feeling hot. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Ethan was the campus ideal. Gentle, poised, and respected. Someone who kept a perfect, friendly distance from everyone. How could he possibly have a crush on me? I'm as straight as they come. The next day, seeing Ethan felt surreal. He was waiting for me by the main gate, just like always, to walk to class together. The morning sun filtered through the leaves, casting a soft glow on him. He stood tall, his presence clean and composed, drawing appreciative glances from passing girls. When he saw me, the corners of his lips lifted into a natural, subtle smile. "You're here. Rough night?" he asked, his gaze gentle as he noted the dark circles under my eyes. "Here it comes." He noticed. Why is he so attentive to my sleep schedule? Do normal friends care about that? Alarm bells started screaming in my head. It was fine, I mumbled, my eyes darting away, unable to meet his gaze, which suddenly felt too clear, as if it held emotions I couldn't decipher. "For you." He handed me the coffee and bagel he was holding. "From my favorite spot. Eat it while it's warm." I took them, my fingertips accidentally brushing against his. A jolt, like static electricity, shot up my arm, and I flinched back. Ethan raised an eyebrow. "What's wrong?" "Nothing. It's hot," I lied, ducking my head and taking a huge gulp of coffee, my heart pounding like a drum. He let out a soft chuckle, a low sound that felt like a feather brushing against my heart. "Slow down. No one's going to steal it. It's over." Why is he laughing like that? So smoothly? Normal friends don't laugh like that. This is definitely not normal. On the way to class, I was a nervous wreck. Ethan habitually walked on the side closer to the street. When he turned to listen to me, he'd tilt his head down slightly, his focus so intense it felt like I was the most important person in the world. I was waving my arms around while telling a story and almost walked into a railing. He reached out and gently pulled me back, the warmth of his hand seeping through my thin shirt, making me flinch again. "Leo, watch where you're going," he said, his tone laced with an exasperated fondness. As he let go, his fingertips seemed to linger for a fraction of a second against my wrist. I froze, a line from the fanfiction flashing in my mind. Ethan's fingers brushed, as if by accident, against Leo's wrist, sending a shiver through him. Crap. I jumped back half a step as if I'd been stung. "What are you doing?" I blurted out. Ethan looked taken aback by my extreme reaction, a flicker of confusion crossing his usually smiling eyes. "Pulling you back, so you wouldn't hit the railing." His expression was so natural, so innocent, that it made me look like the one overreacting. Other students were looking our way. I felt my face burn, my toes curling in my shoes from embarrassment. Thanks." I shuffled back to his side, my mind screaming. "Leo, get a grip. He's straight, you're straight. Don't let Chloe's stupid notebook warp your brain." But the way he'd pulled me back felt so gentle. The way he looked at me felt a little too focused. I didn't hear a single word of the lecture. Sitting next to Ethan, I felt completely on edge. He sensed my distraction, glancing at me with a questioning look several times. He even pushed his meticulously neat notes toward me. "Anything you don't get?" he whispered, his breath tickling my ear. My earlobe instantly turned crimson. "And no, I got it all," I stammered. He gave me a thoughtful look but didn't press further, just drew a small, faint question mark in the margin of the page. That question mark felt like a hook, tugging at my heart. When the bell rang, I practically bolted, trying to escape the classroom, but he grabbed my wrist. "Wait." He pulled a sleek hydro flask from his backpack. "You didn't finish your coffee this morning. You look dehydrated. Drink some water." I stared down at his well-defined hand gripping the familiar bottle, the one with the small sunflower sticker I'd given him for his birthday back in high school. He still used it. I took it numbly and unscrewed the cap. The water was the perfect temperature, just cool enough to be refreshing. He watched me take a few sips before a small smile touched his lips. "What do you want for dinner? The dining hall has a new build-your-own-burger bar. I heard it's good." He remembered I loved burgers. I looked at his kind, smiling face, and my heart suddenly gave a heavy, uncontrolled thud. "It's over, Leo. You're not okay." That terrifying thought circled back, seductive and powerful. What if Ethan really did have a crush on me? Ever since that dreadful thought took root in my mind, I couldn't look at Ethan the same way. Before, I saw him as a refined, caring friend. Now, I saw hidden affection in his eyes, ulterior motives in every kind gesture. Before, his attentiveness was just his personality. Now, it was clear evidence of a secret crush. I, Leo, after 20 years of an ironclad straight identity, was facing the most severe challenge of my life. I was being driven crazy by my own ridiculous delusions. It was all Chloe's fault and her stupid shipping journal. "Leo?" Spacing out again? Ethan's hand waved in front of my face, carrying the faint, clean scent of laundry detergent. "Ball's coming your way." I snapped back to reality, fumbling to catch the basketball. I missed the ball entirely and ended up smacking a teammate in the face. "Ow! Leo, what the hell, man?" My teammate yelped, clutching his cheek. "Sorry, so sorry." I apologized, my face burning with shame. Ethan let out a weary laugh and reached out, instinctively brushing a sweaty lock of hair from my forehead. "What's with you today? Not feeling well?" His fingertips were cool against my skin but felt like they lit a tiny fire. I jerked back as if electrocuted, my gaze flitting around. "No, I'm fine. Just hot." "Yeah, it's really hot." Ethan's hand froze midair, a flicker of something I couldn't quite decipher, surprise and disappointment, crossing his features. He slowly pulled his hand back, his voice still even. "Then let's take a break. I'll go get drinks." Watching his tall figure walk toward the campus store, I pinched my thigh hard. "Leo, you idiot. Why did you flinch? He was just being nice. Now you've made it obvious you're avoiding him." But that look in his eyes just now, that flicker of disappointment, was he hurt? Did he realize I was avoiding him? Would he think I hate him now? My mind was a tangled mess. One moment I was convinced I'd overreacted and hurt my friend. The next I was certain his gesture had been just a little too intimate. "Here, your favorite iced tea." Ethan returned quickly, handing me the bottle. His face was back to its usual placid smile, as if that moment of sadness had been a figment of my imagination. Thanks." I took the bottle, its cold surface doing nothing to cool my sweaty palms. He twisted the cap off his own water bottle and took a long drink, his throat moving with each swallow. In the sunlight, a bead of sweat traced a line down his sharp jaw, disappearing into the collar of his shirt. I swallowed hard, feeling the heat rise in my cheeks. The way Ethan drinks water is fatally sexy. Leo stared, his heart skipping a beat. A line from the journal popped into my head at the worst possible moment. Crap. I quickly looked away, but my heart, the traitor, began to pound like a crazy drum. It's over. My delusion is getting worse. I see everything he does through an 800-meter-thick pink filter now. This is unbearable. To test my insane theory, I decided to take action. That night, studying in the library, I deliberately knocked my pen off the table so it landed by his foot. "Ethan, can you get that for me?" I tried to make my tone sound natural and a little lazy, like a boss ordering his subordinate around. According to the straight bro script, he should have called me useless and then reluctantly picked it up, or maybe just kicked it back to me. However, Ethan just paused for a second, then bent down without any complaint. He picked up the pen, even wiped the non-existent dust off with a tissue, and handed it back to me with a smile. "Be careful." His gaze was as gentle as a spring lake. This wasn't right. Undeterred, I pressed on. "Ethan, this problem is so hard. Can you explain it to me?" I leaned in, getting deliberately close, our arms almost touching, trying to create an uncomfortably close atmosphere that would make him squirm. According to the straight bro script, he should have shoved me away, grumbling about how hot it was, or given a half-hearted explanation. Instead, Ethan just turned his head, glanced at the textbook, then at me, so close to him. The tips of his ears seemed to turn a faint pink. He didn't push me away. In fact, he leaned a little closer, picked up his pencil, and began to patiently explain the concept. His voice a low, pleasant murmur, his breath ghosting over my ear. "Do you get this part?" After each step, he would pause and look at me with those focused eyes, waiting for my response. I could smell the faint, pleasant scent on his clothes, saw his long eyelashes up close, heard his gentle, patient voice. Get it? I didn't get a damn thing. My brain was filled with the sound of exploding fireworks. "Leo, understand?" He asked again, his eyes questioning. "Why, yep. Got it." I shot upright, putting distance between us, my cheeks hot enough to fry an egg. "Perfectly. Thanks, Professor Ethan. Great lecture." Ethan looked at my flushed face and evasive eyes and chuckled softly. He didn't say anything, just reached up and very naturally ruffled my hair. "Good that you got it." He touched my hair. He actually touched my hair. That's not something friends do. That's definitely crossing a line. I froze in place, my heart about to leap out of my throat. Ethan loved ruffling Leo's hair. It was soft, like petting a big, well-behaved golden retriever. That cursed journal. It was haunting me. That night in my dorm, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, engaged in a serious self-interrogation. "Leo, snap out of it. This is Ethan. Your childhood friend, the one you snuck out with, the one who made fun of your basketball skills and helped you unsuccessfully try to ask girls out. How could he possibly have a crush on you? It's all in your head. It's a delusion. It's the poison from Chloe's fanfiction." But then, the image of him picking the pickles off my burger, the way he brought me breakfast, how he held the umbrella for me. His gentle focus while explaining a problem, the smile in his eyes when he ruffled my hair. All these scenes played on a loop in my head. My heart rate spun out of control again, and my face grew hotter. I pulled the covers over my head and let out a desperate groan. "Help me. I think I'm actually going crazy." After days of internal struggle and emotional whiplash, I had to face a brutal truth. I, Leo, seemed to be irretrievably on a path of self-destruction. Now, when I saw Ethan, I'd subconsciously fix my hair. When I heard his voice, my heart would skip a beat. Any physical contact, even an accidental brush of our hands, felt like an electric shock, and I'd spend hours secretly replaying the sensation. I even started observing his every move. I noticed that Ethan really did maintain a polite distance with everyone else, warm but measured. With me, however, all boundaries were blurred, his actions so natural they seemed second nature. The difference in treatment was too obvious. Just as I was caught in the intense tug-of-war between "he definitely likes me" and "I can't be gay," a new player entered the game. Sophia, the most popular girl in our department, began to openly pursue Ethan. It started one afternoon when Sophia, carrying a huge stack of papers, nearly fell down the stairs. Ethan, walking behind her, steadied her and helped pick up her scattered documents. A simple, mundane act. The next day, however, Sophia, blushing, handed Ethan a fancy bottle of juice right in front of me in the dining hall. "Ethan, thank you so much for yesterday. This is for you." Her voice was sweet, her adoration practically spilling from her eyes. Ethan was clearly surprised but maintained a polite smile. "It was nothing. You don't have to." He didn't immediately take the juice. Watching from the side, a sour feeling brewed inside me. It was like watching someone else a treasure I had kept hidden for myself. The feeling was acidic, lodging in my chest and making it hard to breathe. "Come on, Ethan, just take it," I heard myself say, my voice loud and obnoxious in a way that even I found cringy. "It's a token of her appreciation, right, Sophia?" Sophia's face grew redder as she nodded shyly. Ethan frowned slightly and glanced at me, his expression complex. But he eventually took the juice and said a quiet, "Thank you." Sophia skipped away happily. I stared at the offending bottle in Ethan's hand, feeling like I'd just swallowed a bug. From then on, Sophia launched a full-scale campaign. She brought him drinks, snacks, asked him to study sessions, and invented endless questions to ask him. Ethan's attitude remained polite but distant, but he couldn't stop her relentless pursuit, and I was trapped in an unprecedented state of anxiety and awkwardness. When I saw Sophia give Ethan a water bottle, I'd immediately run over and shove my own half-finished iced tea into his hands, shouting, "Drink mine. I can't finish it." When I saw Sophia ask Ethan to study, I'd throw my arm around his shoulders with a pained expression. "Ethan, I don't get this problem. You have to help me. Right now. Immediately." When I saw Sophia smile at Ethan, I'd wedge myself between them, force an even bigger grin, and start babbling about meaningless nonsense. My behavior was as childish as a first grader fighting for attention. I despised myself for it, but I couldn't control it. The moment I saw Sophia near Ethan, the alarms in my head would blare, and jealousy would bubble up inside me. At night, I even found myself pulling out Chloe's cursed notebook again, rereading the parts about Ethan getting jealous, searching for some kind of solidarity and comfort. My roommate, seeing me moping around all day, finally asked, "Leo, what's up with you lately? Got your heart broken?" I slumped over my desk and moaned, "Worse than that." "What? Did Ethan beat you to the girl you like?" I shot up, blurting out as if he wouldn't dare. My roommate stared at me. I realized what I'd said and slumped back down, my heart filled with misery. "It's over, Leo. You're not just gay. You're a ridiculously jealous, possessive mess." Then one day, I saw Sophia stop Ethan outside the main lecture hall. She was holding 2 movie tickets, her cheeks flushed, her eyes full of hope. "Ethan, are you free this weekend?" There's a new movie out that looks really good. The sunlight was bright, and the two of them standing together looked annoyingly picture-perfect. I couldn't hear what Ethan said, but I saw the smile on Sophia's face grow even wider. An unprecedented sense of crisis and jealousy finally broke through my last shred of sanity. I couldn't take it anymore. As soon as Sophia left, I stormed over, grabbed Ethan's wrist, and dragged him into an empty stairwell without a word. "Ethan," I panted, staring at him, my eyes red with frustration and a feeling of being wronged. Ethan, bewildered by my sudden action, looked at me in surprise. "Leo, what's going on?" I opened my mouth, but the words got stuck. Was I supposed to ask him if he was going to the movies with Sophia? On what grounds? As his friend? Friends don't get to control who you see movies with. My face was flushed, my chest heaving. I looked at his handsome, innocent face and thought about the past few months of confusion. My racing heart, the sourness and anxiety. All those emotions exploded at once. My mind went blank, and I closed my eyes, shouting with the desperation of someone with nothing left to lose. "Ethan, you're not allowed to go to the movies with her. I think I like you." The air went still. The only sounds in the stairwell were my own heavy breathing and the frantic drumming of my heart against my ribs. The second the words were out, regret washed over me, a tidal wave of shame and panic. I didn't dare open my eyes, feeling like a prisoner awaiting sentencing, my body rigid, my hands and feet ice cold. It's over, Leo, you absolute moron. What did you just say? How could you just say it? What if he thinks I'm disgusting? What if he avoids me from now on? We can't even be friends anymore." Seconds ticked by, each one feeling like an eternity. Ethan made no sound, no gasp of shock, no push of disgust, not even a whisper. Was he stunned into silence? Or was he already mentally calculating the gentlest way to reject me without destroying our fragile friendship? The more I thought, the more hopeless I felt. My nose tingled, and my eyes began to burn. Just as I was about to open my eyes, mutter "just kidding," and flee, a pair of cool hands gently cupped my face. His fingertips were trembling slightly, but the gesture was impossibly gentle. I flinched, my eyes flying open in disbelief. I found myself looking into a pair of deep, dark eyes. Ethan was looking down at me, his usually calm and smiling gaze now swirling with a storm of emotions. Shock, elation, disbelief, and a profound, overwhelming affection that seemed ready to spill over. He didn't seem disgusted. "Leo," his voice was hoarse, laced with a tremor I had never heard before, as if he was restraining something powerful. "What did you just say? Say it again." His gaze was so intense it felt like it could set me on fire. The hands on my face tightened slightly, as if he was afraid I might vanish. I was stunned by the emotion in his eyes, my mind a complete blank. I could only repeat on instinct. I said, "I like you. You can't go to the movies with her." Before the last word left my lips, Ethan took a sharp breath. The next second, I was pulled with tremendous force into a warm, solid embrace. He held me so tightly, his arms wrapped around my waist and back, as if he wanted to crush me, to merge me into his very bones. My face was buried in the crook of his neck, and I could feel the violent thumping of his heart and the slight tremor in his body. "Is this real?" His voice was muffled against my shoulder, thick with an incredible, choked-up emotion. "Leo, is this real? You're not kidding? This isn't a dare?" I was being held so tightly I could barely breathe, but the enormous weight in my chest lifted and vanished. In its place came a flood of overwhelming joy and a bittersweet ache. It's real. It's real, I said, my nose tingling as tears threatened to fall. I hugged him back just as fiercely. Who would joke about something like this? Ethan's body tensed, and then he held me even tighter. We just stood there in the empty stairwell, holding each other like two fools who had finally found their way home. After a long time, Ethan loosened his grip slightly, but his hands remained firmly on my arms. He stared at me, his eyes never leaving my face, as if he could never get enough. The corners of his eyes were a little red, but his face was lit up with a look of pure joy and profound relief. He was so handsome it was hard to look away. This is incredible, he murmured to himself, then leaned down and rested his forehead against mine. Our warm breaths mingled. Leo, do you have any idea how long I've waited to hear you say that? I froze, catching the key word in his sentence. Waited. Ethan took a deep breath, as if making a monumental decision. He gazed into my eyes, his look tender and firm, tinged with a careful vulnerability. Leo, I'm sorry. There's something I've been hiding from you. My heart began to race again. What is it? He gently rubbed my arm, as if giving me strength, or perhaps himself. The truth is, I've liked you for a very long time. My eyes widened. What? Seeing my shocked expression, a smile that was both sweet and a little bittersweet touched Ethan's lips. He took my hand and pressed it against his chest, where his heart was pounding like a drum, hot and strong. I realized I liked you a long time ago, but I knew you were straight, and I was terrified that if I told you, I'd scare you away, that we couldn't even be friends anymore. So I hid it. I tried to just be good to you quietly. Remembering you hate pickles was because you looked so cute picking them out one by one. I always brought you breakfast because I wanted to be the first person you saw every day. I held the umbrella for you because I wanted an excuse to be closer. I explained problems to you because I loved watching you focus on me. And ruffling your hair. He let out a soft laugh, his eyes full of adoration. It really is soft. And you always look so dazed when I do it. It's adorable. He listed them out one by one, all the pieces of evidence of his secret love that I had completely missed. I listened, dumbfounded, my heart soaking in a warm, sweet honey, aching and soft. Then why didn't you say anything sooner? I managed, half crying, half laughing, as I lightly punched his chest. You made me agonize for so long. I almost drove myself insane. Ethan caught my fist, enclosing it in his palm, his eyes filled with guilt and a lingering fear. I didn't dare. I was afraid you'd hate me, that you'd avoid me. I could only wait. Wait for a miracle or wait for you to slowly figure it out. He paused, his eyes becoming incredibly bright with a joy that felt like a miracle. But I never expected this. I never expected you. He lifted my face, his thumb gently brushing my cheek. His voice was so soft it could have been water. Thank you for walking toward me. I looked into his eyes, which were filled with stars and with me, reflecting an undisguised love and the overwhelming joy of finding something he thought he'd lost forever. All my anxiety, my confusion, my jealousy, it all melted away, replaced by a surging sweetness and a profound sense of security. I liked him. He liked me. We liked each other. The immense joy was disorienting. I started to giggle like an idiot, and as I laughed, tears started to fall. Idiot, I mumbled, at him and at myself. Two idiots. Ethan smiled and kissed away my tears, the gesture light and full of reverence. Yeah. I'm an idiot, he whispered in agreement. Then, he slowly, tentatively, leaned closer, his warm breath on my lips. So, can this idiot kiss you? My Leo? My face exploded in a blush. my heart about to burst. I was so shy I wanted to look away, but I couldn't resist the anticipation. I closed my eyes and gave the slightest nod, my voice barely a whisper. "You may." The next second, a gentle yet searing kiss met mine, filled with endless tenderness, adoration, and the culmination of a long, patient wait. Sunlight streamed through the stairwell window, casting our embracing figures in a long, warm, and perfect silhouette. One weekend, Ethan and I were curled up on my couch watching a movie when I suddenly remembered the source of all my turmoil. I jumped up, dug through my desk drawer, and pulled out Chloe's notebook, waving it triumphantly in front of Ethan. "All right, Mr. Ethan, confess. Did you secretly bribe my sister to be your spy? How else could she have written all this so accurately?" Ethan laughed, pulling me back into his arms and holding me tight, his chin resting on my hair. "I honestly didn't," he said, his voice innocent and sincere. "Maybe Chloe just has a gift for seeing the truth." "Oh, so I'm the only one who's blind?" Although, he said, taking the notebook and flipping through a few pages, his expression darkening slightly, his tone becoming a little dangerous. "Some of these details aren't quite accurate enough." "Like what?" He leaned in and whispered something in my ear. My face instantly turned the color of a tomato. I snatched the notebook back, shoved it under me, and sat on it. You're not allowed to read that anymore, or think about it, and definitely not practice it," I stammered. Ethan raised an eyebrow, a sly, cat-like grin spreading across his face. "Oh, and when, my dear Leo, will practice be authorized?" "Get out." The first time I saw Leo was on a moving truck during a summer when I was 6. The heat was so intense the asphalt seemed to be melting. I looked out the window and saw a boy in a tank top and shorts, crouched in the shade of a tree in the yard next door, completely absorbed in digging at something. He was so grimy he looked like a puppy that had just rolled in a mud puddle. He must have sensed me looking because he glanced up. His face was streaked with dirt and sweat, but his eyes were as bright as a clear summer night sky full of stars. He tilted his head, studying us for a moment, then broke into a wide grin that showed a missing front tooth. He waved a muddy little hand at me. In that moment, the stuffy air in the truck seemed to move again. My mom led me out to say hello. I was shy, hiding behind her leg and clutching a new toy car, a moving gift from my dad that I treasured. "This is Leo. He's 2 months younger than you," my mom said. The woman I would come to know as his mom gently nudged the little mud-caked boy forward. "Leo, say hi to your new neighbor." Leo wasn't shy at all. He trotted over, his eyes fixed on the toy car in my hand, and chirped, "Hi, wanna play with my car?" I instinctively pulled my hand back. He blinked, looking from me to the car, a flash of disappointment in his bright eyes. But it vanished as quickly as it came. He grinned again, ran back to where he'd been digging, and carefully picked up a glass jar. He presented it to me like a treasure. Inside were a few blinking fireflies and some green leaves. "Here, for you," he said, his smile so wide it looked like it could split his face. A drop of sweat rolled down his forehead. "We can play together." The light in his eyes was too bright, too earnest, a kind of infectious warmth you couldn't refuse. On some strange impulse, I loosened my grip on my precious toy car and accepted the grubby jar. And from that day on, my world had a little son in it named Leo. We grew up together, attending the same elementary, middle, and high schools. Leo was a whirlwind of energy, always moving, climbing trees, catching frogs, and getting into trouble. I was quieter. I liked to read, and I liked following behind him, cleaning up his messes or standing under a tree with my arms outstretched, just in case he fell. He'd cause some disaster, then turned to me with those wide, innocent, brilliant eyes and plead, "Ethan, help me?" Every time I'd tell myself to be firm, and every time I'd fail. I wrote his apology letters, helped him with his homework, snuck him snacks when he was in detention, and was always the first one there to carry him to the nurse's office when he got hurt playing sports. Being good to Leo became my instinct. When did that instinct curdle into something else? Maybe it was during senior year at a bonfire after a football game. I watched him get a little sunburned and saved my share of the marshmallows for him. Seeing the way his throat moved as he happily ate them, my own heart started to beat erratically. Or maybe it was on a late night after studying, when he slung an arm around my shoulder, chattering about video games and girls. The amber glow of the streetlights softened the lines of his face, and I suddenly had an overwhelming urge to kiss him. The thought was so shocking that I shoved him away and ran home. Couldn't sleep that night. I just stared out my window at the lights still on in his room next door. My heart a confusing mix of ice and fire. "It's over, Ethan," I thought. "You're in love with your best friend." After that realization, every day became a sweet agony. I grew more careful, hiding my feelings so no one would ever know. On the surface, I was the same dependable, high-achieving Ethan, Leo's best friend and most trusted confidant. But secretly, I'd watch the soft curls of his hair in the sunlight when he napped at his desk. I committed all his preferences to memory, unconsciously taking care of his every need. I'd freeze up, my heart pounding, whenever he'd get too close, but I could never bring myself to push him away. I'd feel a bitter ache in my chest when I saw him laughing with other people, forcing a smile to my own face. I was terrified of crossing that line. I was afraid of the look of shock and disgust in his eyes if he ever found out. Afraid he'd pull away, that he'd avoid me, that we wouldn't even be able to be friends. This secret love was like a seed buried deep underground, growing wildly in the dark, its roots wrapped tight around my heart. The slightest touch was painful. All I could do was be good to Leo, better than anyone else, and disguise all my love as the most natural, unshakable friendship. We ended up at the same university. I was relieved and terrified. It meant I could stay by his side, but it also meant I would have to watch as he encountered new people and maybe fell in love. In college, Leo was just as dazzling. His personality was magnetic, drawing people to him, guys and girls. Every time someone showed interest in him, it felt like torture. But I could only watch. Until one day, Chloe, his clever, mischievous sister, secretly handed me a brightly colored notebook, her eyes glinting. "Ethan, check out my new story. Tell me what you think." I opened it curiously. After only a few pages, I felt like I'd been struck by lightning, my face burning. It was filled with stories about me and Leo. The details were terrifyingly accurate, mixed with fantasies I had only ever dared to imagine in the deepest corners of my mind. "This is insane," I said, closing the notebook, my heart hammering, my hands shaking. But Chloe just grinned. "Come on, Ethan. I've seen the way you look at my brother for years. But he's a block of wood. He needs a little push. Trust me, he'll fall for it." And like a desperate gambler betting everything on a single long shot, I agreed. I prayed for that one-in-a-million miracle. The notebook worked. Leo started acting strangely. He'd avoid my gaze. He'd blush and flinch when I accidentally touched him. He'd watch me when he thought I wasn't looking, then quickly turn away if I caught him. I was filled with a mix of hope and fear. Hope that he was finally realizing something, and fear that he just thought I was a creep. I suppressed all my own urges and played the part of the oblivious best friend, carefully testing the waters, watching him get flustered and tongue-tied over a single word or action from me. I felt both thrilled and guilty. thrilled that he wasn't indifferent, and guilty for my deception. Sophia's appearance was an accident, but her pursuit of me and Leo's reaction to it was a revelation. He was jealous. His methods were clumsy and childish, but his possessiveness was a ray of light in my years of darkness. I politely turned Sophia down again and again while selfishly enjoying the sight of Leo being jealous over me. I knew it was wrong, but I couldn't help it. And when he dragged me into that stairwell, his eyes red, and yelled "I like you" in a voice cracking with emotion. The entire world went silent except for the deafening roar of my own heart and the sight of his brave, tear-filled eyes. In that moment, all the waiting, the restraint, the insecurity, it all became worth it. I held him tight, like I was holding a priceless treasure I had finally recovered. My little sun was finally, completely shining just for me. The days since then have been like a dream I never want to wake from. I can finally hold his hand, kiss his lips, hug him, and tell the world that this person is mine. Leo is still as lively as ever, maybe even clingier and more prone to whining than before. He's still a bit of a goofball who gets worked up over little things, but he's easy to soothe, like a cat who just needs to be petted the right way. On a weekend morning, sunlight filters through the blinds. I open my eyes and look at the person sleeping soundly in my arms. His cheek is squished against my bicep. His lips are slightly parted, and his breathing is even. My heart melts. I lean down and gently kiss his forehead. He makes a sleepy sound and burrows deeper into my embrace, finding a more comfortable position before falling asleep again. I can't help but chuckle softly. I think back to that summer so many years ago, to that grimy little boy with the brilliant smile, holding a jar of fireflies, who crashed into my life and illuminated all my days since. What's so funny? The man in my arms murmurs, woken by my movement, his voice thick with sleep. Just thinking about a certain someone, I say, tightening my arms around him, my chin resting on his soft hair, who bribed me with fireflies when he was a kid and then ended up giving me himself when he grew up. He stiffens for a second, then I feel his ears grow hot. He punches my chest weakly, embarrassed. Who gave himself to you? You're the one who had a crush on me for years and schemed to get me. You're right, I agree easily, unable to resist kissing him again. I schemed. It was all premeditated. So thank you. Thank you for walking toward me. Thank you for letting me have my dream come true. My Leo, my son.